Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Shared Light with Dusty and JR. I'm obviously JR.
And I'm Dusty.
Um, so, last few episodes, we have been going through a little bit of our backstories individually. Timeline-wise, we're right around 2005, right?
Yeah.
So, we thought it would be a good idea to go into our story regarding what our journey was like before kids. We spent 10 years?
Yeah. 10 years.
10 years together where it was just, Dusty and I. A lot of that was obviously me trying to figure out what I was going to do in life and dealing with coming off of a pretty heavy addiction into drugs. So that's kind of where we're going to pick up the story there. So I'm on house arrest. I'm on house arrest. Reach out to you.
On MySpace.
On MySpace. And this is August of 2005.
August 2005.
Okay. And we just kind of started talking, sending messages back and forth.
That's when it all kind of started for, like online dating and...
It was actually pretty taboo then, right?
To really... It was really something that was like, don't do that.
Right. Right.
Don't talk to strangers on the internet. Like, definitely don't date people from the internet, like, because you don't know who you're talking to.
Right. So, we just casually started sending messages. I feel like, I'm trying to think real hard, but I don't think we really started talking seriously for maybe about a month.
Yeah. We just kind of, like, I think we would talk daily, at least once, but it wasn't, like, I was definitely in a place, like I talked about in the last episode, like, I was not doing this again. Like, that's all I really knew about love and relationships, and so I had no interest. I was not doing that again. I was just doing me, like having fun, and
right. And
that was the last thing on my mind.
And I very much was just of the mindset of I'm gonna do house arrest and then get off house arrest and keep doing what I'm doing. As I mentioned before, I was very much of the mindset that I was gonna at some point go back, top out my time, and continue down that road that I was on. But we hit it off. We started out. I feel like we became friends pretty fast, like pretty good friends.
Yeah. And we talked not just online, but on the phone a lot.
We did start talking on the phone quite a bit. Yeah. I do remember that because I remember even neither one of us liked talking on the phone, but we still talked quite a bit on the phone.
And texting wasn't really a thing back then. Like, it was starting, but I remember it being like, we can't really text because it costs money.
Right. You've only got so many texts per month, right? Yeah.
Like, I ran out of text or whatever.
I have more minutes than I do texts. Mm-hmm. That's dating us a little bit. Yeah, it's dating us a little bit, I think.
That's fine. We're in our 40s.
But, so I distinctly do remember, though, the first time we talked on the phone, having a totally just different vibe and feeling. And I remember even talking to my mom and telling her that you were the one.
Yeah.
There was something totally different about you, and that something about you just calmed everything within me.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her that, but I did tell her, I'm like, I don't know why, but I think, I really think this is the one for me.
Yeah.
And of course, my mom at the time was like, "You're crazy. You're insane. You don't even know this person. She
Yeah.
could be a
You found
serial
her
killer."
online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was within that month or so that we actually, I think, made it kind of official,
Yeah.
where we
It
were
was pretty quick.
going to be together.
Yeah, because we both knew, like you said, you just like knew, and it was the same for me. Like, and I mean, everybody thought I was crazy because obviously the relationships I had been in, and then here I go, like, oh, I know this guy is the one, and I've never met him, but
And he's on house arrest.
and he's on house arrest, and he has a history or whatever, but you were so easy to talk to. And, as we talked and talked, I just felt like I could tell you anything. And that's not me. I mean, that's how I am with you, but that's not how I am with a lot of people. And so I just remember being like, I can't wait to tell him or talk to him, because in a way it felt like I was me. I could just be me. I didn't have to try to be what you wanted or pretend to be something I wasn't.
Well, and I think that was the kicker for me too, right? Was that I was I never tried to hide that I was
Right.
on house arrest. I never tried to hide that I was a druggie. I never tried to hide any of those things that, because again, when we first met, I really just didn't care about really anything.
Yeah.
And you were somebody fun to talk to, and I mean, obviously, I thought you were good looking, and we started talking, and it instantly transformed my frame of mind. So much so that I actually started thinking about, well, maybe I need to like do right and not keep getting in trouble. And I can't even remember how long I was on house arrest, but I do remember going to, like, driving down to the probation office and you being at places so that I could see you. And,
Yeah, because we couldn't like technically meet up.
right.
Like, you couldn't go anywhere. And so I would go. It was downtown Caldwell. So I would park at the police station right there, just so I could see you drive by. And we would say hi as you drove to and from.
I think that went on for a couple months.
Yeah, I think it was a couple months. Until you got off.
Until I got off. And I remember the day that I got off. Your house was the first one I went to.
Yeah.
Then
we sat under the
yeah,
tree.
we sat under the tree.
Because I don't remember.
I think I was still on curfew.
Yeah, you were on curfew, and there was maybe certain places or something that you couldn't go.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There was a lot of rules, so we just ended up at my house, and we hung out under the tree in the front yard
Sat under the tree. I remember that.
for hours. Yep. And then we were just like, what do we do from here?
Yeah, I mean, we were
what's our plan? What's our future?
I remember, and as the rules got a little bit lighter as I was doing better, because I mean, I was doing everything I was supposed to do, going to work, taking the UAs every other day or whatever it was. As it like got lighter and lighter, you got to a point where you could come over to my house and meet my mom.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. We were just
Looking at that picture.
looking at our very first picture.
I should pull it up.
And it was It's funny to think about now, but I remember my mom thinking you were insane because of the hat you were wearing, and you had a nose. Of all the things, you had a nose piercing, and that's what
Yeah.
she thought you were just this crazy girl because you had a nose piercing.
Yeah.
And then I feel like you came over one day, and you have to keep in mind, like my mom and my dad, they're very supportive of a lot of the things that I do, even when they're not the greatest. They try to do their best to. But I remember my mom being very adamant. Well, this girl is not going to stay here. She's not like we don't even know her. You met her online, and like we were watching a movie or something,
Yeah.
and
Upstairs.
yeah, and I think you fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not going to wake her up and make her go home. And my mom was like, well, yeah, we can't just make her go home. And then it was like, after that,
I never
you
left.
never left. But for context, you and my mom ended up being the best of friends.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's just kind of funny because, I mean, it was. When you think about it now, like if my girls came to me like that.
Yeah. And with their boyfriend.
Yeah, like I would not. I would have
Yeah.
probably been in the same
I
boat.
totally understand how your mom felt. I mean, she didn't know me from, and you didn't have the best record
Yeah,
with
right.
exes either.
Right.
And so her experience
I didn't have the best track record for
was
sure.
like, I'm not having a girlfriend stay over,
But
But
then,
after a couple days, it was,
and then I think it was like a month later, like you officially moved in.
yeah.
Like we stayed at my parents' house for a while.
Yeah, we did.
And then, like that is probably late 2005, early 2000. Like it was fast.
It was pretty, yeah. I mean, we met in August, and then I'd say by the end of 2005, I
Yeah.
was already living there.
And then I think it was probably right around January '06 we decided to move out and get our own apartment. Because of course I'm still having to follow rules and ask for permission to do certain things. So it wasn't like I could just up and move out right away.
Right.
So that was the other side of it.
Yeah.
But then, so we got an apartment. And it wasn't very long after we got into our apartment that I think we started talking. And sometimes I feel bad because it wasn't ever like I proposed, I feel like.
Yeah.
We
No.
just kind of
We
started
just
talking
kind of
about.
made an agreement.
We just-
We both decided that's what we wanted,
And like I think back and I'm like, well, like I don't have a regret for it, but like I don't know what your thoughts are on it. Like how you felt about it.
it didn't honestly bother me. Just because it was more of a, like, I think for me, I didn't need that okay in a proposal. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's very common and you're supposed to do that. And that's kind of how the man lets you know, like, I want to marry you. I want you to be my wife. But I think we had known for a long time that that was what we both wanted. And so I didn't feel like I needed that.
Right, because I do feel like
Approval or, you know.
one day we just kind of started talking about it, and it was just like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. I never had that expectation.
But the other side of that is I had still not met your parents.
No. My parents were very hesitant.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Given my history, and, meeting somebody online, he's on house arrest. He has, a history, which is always something that I never hid from anybody because I didn't ever see it as like shameful, and not that my parents judged you. they were just cautious because
Well,
they
I
had
mean,
seen me go through
yeah, I mean, given the history and given some
my
of the
marriage, my
situation.
ex marriage, and yeah, so they were just like, we'll hold off. Like, they weren't on board right away. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just on board with you, it was on board, I think, with me and my relationship and our relationship.
Well,
And
I mean, it's the situation.
yeah, they were just like, pump the brakes a little bit. Like, they never told me not to do it or, like not to be with you or whatever. They were just, for them, you know how my parents are.
Yeah.
They're very much that way. Like, let me ease into it, or let me just kind of see how this goes, or who this person is first.
And again, for context, like, we have a great relationship. I love your parents. I mean, they're my parents, but yeah, I mean, I like, again, looking at it as a dad.
Yeah, if that was
Like,
one of our girls, and
Oh hell,
that
no.
was the
Like,
situation.
Yeah, like, oh hell no, I'm not.
Yeah. And I never was upset at them about it either. I was just like, I know, it's like, it was something that I think only you and I saw.
It really was something that only you and I could understand.
Yeah. And nobody else at the time. I would say now that, of course, they understand. Not just my parents, but like anybody that's been in our life.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was hard to understand for everybody, I think. The dynamic of it and the pace of it was pretty fast.
I mean, it was pretty fast. Yeah. I mean, and of course, we're talking wedding. My mom's getting super excited. She's very much of the mindset that she wants to see her firstborn, have a big wedding,
Yep.
and I'm not that guy, really.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like attention on me. I don't
Yeah.
like all the flash and.
Yeah, I'm not really that way either. And I had already had that, and it just was not of important. Like, the most important thing to me was like, we want to be married.
Right.
Not, we need to have a big wedding, we need to do this, we need to do that. It was just, that was what was important.
So, with that as a little bit of context, the day we actually got married, I like to tell the story that we were arguing about the wedding.
Yeah, I'm sure we were.
I mean,
it got pretty stressful.
Yeah, it got pretty. I mean, we were both super stressed out, and I think it ended up being, well, I don't even want a stupid wedding. Well, I don't either,
Yeah.
right?
We just both were like, then why are we doing it?
And I think you made the comment of like, I'll just go right now and go down to the courthouse. Like, I don't need it.
Right.
And I'm like, well, fine, let's go. And it was almost like chicken.
Like, I bet you won't.
And we both went down to the courthouse and got married in front of a judge and two random strangers that were in the courthouse.
And we didn't tell a soul.
And we did not tell a soul until we left the courthouse. And I still have not met your parents.
At this point.
At this point.
You had not met them yet. You did not meet them till you were already my husband.
Right. And we called my parents, and my mom was devastated and extremely angry.
Yeah, she was really upset.
My dad was just kind of like, well, I mean, I guess if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do, But my mom, I think, was hurt more than anything.
Yeah.
She was pretty angry. She didn't talk to us for like a month.
A few months.
Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah. And looking back now, there is some regret there, because not that we didn't have a wedding. I think, had we thought about it a little bit longer and thought it through a little bit more, we could have at least had our parents, if they wanted to come,
Right.
at the courthouse. And I think your mom would have been even okay with that. Like, I think her thing was that she wanted to see you get married.
Right.
Whether it was a wedding or, I mean, she would love a wedding.
Right.
She loves big parties and planning and, every little detail about it. So I think more importantly, she would have just wanted to be at the courthouse or wherever we were doing it. She wanted to be there. So I think that's the part that I regret. And I never gave my parents the option either. Or, my sister or the people that are, closest to us. I think that's the only regret I have in going down to the courthouse and getting married. I don't regret doing it that way, like going to the courthouse and doing it and not having a wedding. I do regret not inviting our parents.
Yeah, I think for me it's, if I could go back, I would have involved them in that.
Yeah.
In that specific instance of,
yeah.
like, we're going down, you guys are free to come. If not, at least to have given them the option.
Right.
Because I don't regret the way we did it.
No, I don't either.
I think it worked for us, and I mean,
and that's what was important, is that we were married.
We're still here 20 years later, so. But yeah, and then, the first few years, well, it was more than a few years, but I mean, at the time, I was just trying to get off probation more than anything. So I was just minding my P's and Q's. I was just focused on working. Didn't really have any direction.
Yeah, I think we were just both working, and I think I had started working at the credit union at that point. And we were just kind of working, trying to make it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't have
our own place,
I didn't have the highest paying job, so it was really just like struggling to and trying to figure out. I mean, you're learning about each other in those moments.
Yeah.
And I remember like my dad paying for our honeymoon and us having some of those moments on the coast. And I mean, after everybody kind of calmed down, everybody was super supportive. And I think even when I met your parents for the first time, they were super nice. I was actually quite, now that I know your parents, I'm not as shocked, but I remember in the moment being extremely surprised that they were not more judgmental. Just because that has been my experience, with a lot of people. So
yeah.
And obviously I had already met your sister, but that changed the dynamic. I mean, she moved in with us for a little while, and we moved in with her for a little. I mean, we were together.
All the time.
Yeah, when we first got married, we were together all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was really just about like really getting to, your honeymoon, basically, your honeymoon phase. You're really just trying to enjoy each other and
figure each other out.
And again, I'm doing my best to mind my P's and Q's, but then, and we went on like that for a really long time.
Yeah. I mean, we were pretty low key, just normal, everyday.
But I did end up getting off of probation, and I don't remember what year that was.
It was 2009.
So 3 years into our marriage, and
you got off early. I remember.
At that point, I went a little wild because I had been under such.
They were like freedom.
Yeah, so I started drinking a lot. A lot. I drank almost, I think, probably every day.
Every day, yeah.
For a year or two. Still held down a job, but was really frustrated with my job at the time. But I even with that, it took a long time for me to finally just decide what we wanted. I think.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like we didn't really, not like we do now where we have, you know, all these conversations about what we want and how we get there. And we didn't really communicate that way back then. I think the only kind of focus we had was we know we wanted kids.
Yeah.
You know, right off the bat, we were
Right.
just like, we know we want kids.
And I mean, that's probably a really good segue into. We did know if we wanted kids from since the day we met, basically.
Yeah.
We both knew we wanted a big family. We wanted to have kids. I mean, I think that's probably a lot of what drew us together is that we both had that need for family. And
Yeah.
but through circumstances outside of both of our control, we were not able to have kids.
Yeah. We tried. We had medical intervention. You know, we went through the gambit. We just, for whatever reason, which we know the reason now.
Yeah, we know the reason now.
But at the time, we did not know the reason. We just were not able to conceive.
And there was a lot of. I think we both hid it from each other real well, but I think there was a lot of heartache during that time.
Mm-hmm.
That it was just not happening and not happening no matter what we tried or did or.
Yeah, and again, we didn't have the communication that we have now. But I feel like looking back, there was probably a lot of we both took it as it was our faults.
Yeah.
You know, like you had your reasons why you thought it was your fault. I had my reasons. Like, I know my medical history. I know I have PCOS. I know it was going to be difficult no matter what. So I feel like we both just kind of internalized and blamed ourselves a lot.
And I mean, based on our backstories, people should understand we deal with that in very different manners. You shelve it, I try to numb it out. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the only thing that contributed to my drinking, but it was a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was.
It was a way to not feel it.
Yeah, I mean, I was not happy with that situation. I was really not happy with my work situation.
Right.
And it was a lot of hard times.
Yeah.
But I think you more so than me tried to make the best of it.
Yeah.
Because I was in a very negative mindset even then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think in that mindset, it's easier for you to just focus in on it.
Yeah.
And not be able to think outside of that or so I really just tried to focus on the positive, you know, what we do have instead of what we don't have or where we're going.
Right. And then in about 2011, I decided I was done. I could not keep going the way I was going. Something needed to change. And I think that may have been one of the first times we had a real conversation about goals.
Yeah.
It was also around that time that we started to accept the fact that we weren't going to be parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I was just, it had been a long road. And so, I mean, I was just tired of the emotions of it all, you know, the up, the down, the hope, it's a lot for anybody that's ever dealt or does deal with, you know, infertility. takes a toll on you as a person. It takes a toll on your marriage. It takes a toll on every aspect of your life. So at that point, we were just like, it needs to not be our focus anymore.
Right. So we came to the decision of, well, what do I want to do? How can we get there to do some of the other things that now we're shifting our focus on and wanting to do? At the time, we thought maybe moving I wanted to move to a big city. You didn't want to be away from your parents, but there was a lot of those talks of, okay, well, maybe we move downtown Boise and do the downtown thing and
the city life.
Right, and then maybe at some point, I at that time identified, the one thing that I've always gravitated to that I really enjoy, and that is something that I just always wanted to do, was I wanted to be a welder. So at the time I was also thinking, well, I can go to school, be a welder, and then I can travel pipe welding. We know that it brings in good money. I can be home. We don't have kids, so it's not really like it's that difficult. You can come out and see me whenever, and like we had a plan. And the plan was, okay, I'm going to quit what I'm doing.
Go get your job.
Right. And you're going to hold us down for the time I'm in school. Yeah. And again, it was one of those moments, I think, in a marriage that come along where you hit a crossroads of what are we doing? Where are we headed? And we were able to talk through that. I think in some instances, people come to those points in marriage, and that's when it gets hard, and people go their separate ways.
Yeah.
But we've always had we're blessed in the sense that we've always generally had relatively same focus, mindset, and goals surrounding what we want in life. So.
And I think we've always just been open to each other's perspective. Even when we didn't have the communication that we do now, like, I was still always open to, like, okay, that's what you want to do, then how do we make it work? Right.
So I did. In 2000, end of 2011, I quit my job that I had been at for like 7 years. To go back to school. And I think I was only out of work for about a year.
Yeah, it wasn't super long.
Before I just couldn't handle not working.
Yeah.
And I got a great job. Luckily, I had already been through enough welding that I got a great job at a shop out in Greenleaf with two wonderful people that I absolutely adore. And worked part-time while I was in school. Again, with the thinking, well, like, we're both on the same page of, I'll finish school, if it works out here at the welding shop I'm at, great. But like, we're moving forward and onward.
Yeah, we had a plan.
Right. So I ended up graduating in 2012. But 2012 was a rough year for us.
Yeah, it was.
Early in 2012, we went through probably one of the hardest things that we've ever been through in our marriage.
At that point.
Right. Nothing directed at each other, but, a very dear cousin of mine who was very close to both of us. He was one that was really included you as a part of us in our bigger family. And, he decided to take his own life. which devastated me, devastated you,
Yeah.
and all the emotions that come with that, and all of the unknown that comes with that, and uh, it was a hard time. There was a lot of dark for me during that time, where I had a lot of those previous feelings and emotions that I had stir up. Luckily, I did not turn back to like hard drugs, but I did start drinking again, because I had kind of laid off, mellowed out a little bit. But well, I mean, when he died, I really just started because I didn't want to feel it.
Yeah.
And it was super traumatic. Like, we had to clean up the site. I mean, it's things that I still have nightmares over today.
Yeah. It was very traumatic.
And situations like that tend to give you perspective on life. And it was a time when a lot of other turmoil, I guess is the best way to put it, was happening on my side of the family. And for context, I was trying to actively pursue relationships with my side of the family. We grew up close.
Yeah.
We were trying to be actively involved in that. And, sometimes those things have positive outcomes and sometimes they don't. And there was a lot of turmoil happening already. And then this happened, and it did feel like everybody got really close, for a period.
Period of time. Which I think is...
It's pretty normal.
It's pretty normal when you have a traumatic event happen in your family.
But I do remember being in a really dark place. And not really... I mean, I don't really ever think I talked to you about how I felt during that time. I just kind of internalized it and numbed it out. And
yeah. And, I mean, I just shelved it because that's what I do. I shelve it, and I think my focus was just making sure that you're okay day to day.
That was later on in that year. Another circumstance happens in our family that reignited the focus for us for having a family. And I'm not going to get into that because that is a lot of information that involves a lot of other people that it would not be fair to them to have those conversations without their perspective. But we did get to a point where there was a child in our life that we really treated as our child.
Yeah.
And I've also graduated by this point.
Yeah, you graduated in May of 2012, shortly after.
Right. And I guess by this point, there's two kids in our world that we really just gravitated to, and we really still very much had that focus that we wanted to be parents in whatever capacity we could be parents. Mm-hmm. So we shelved the idea of me welding, traveling, us moving, and really dove into focusing, helping with these two babies that had come into our life. But we were very much of the mindset that, like, we wanted to be parents.
Yeah, even more so, I think, that we had them in our life.
Right. So it was around that time, maybe a year later, we started looking into the idea of being foster parents, because we both knew that we had this desire to have kids in our lives, and at this point it's whatever, at whatever capacity we can, because you really wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a dad, and so we slowly started doing some of the pre stuff that you do to become a foster parent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you have to do.
Yeah, but I mean, it was nothing super serious at the time. It was just kind of like,
just kind of an idea, and like, we want this eventually, so we'll start doing little things now to prepare.
And at that time, you're doing a lot of work with Hispanic foster kids, or the program that you and my mom were a part of with Hispanic foster kids, and kind of we were looking to involve ourselves in some of those,
in that world.
Right. But again, it shifted it was one of those moments that shifted our focus from
back to wanted kids.
Right.
Because we had not focused on it for quite a while.
But we both, at this point, know that we're likely not going to conceive our own children, so, what other avenues are there for us to...
I think at that point it was just like, we're going to pursue this, and if it does happen naturally, great. If
nothing else, we can help we can help kids that are in the system, because they're for those of you that don't know much about the foster system, there is a need for foster parents, and for
a huge need.
For people to protect these children when they have nowhere else to go. A lot of times, there's just not enough foster parents, and kids end up in homes with a bunch of other kids that I'm not saying is inherent.
Not ideal.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying it's inherently bad, but it's not ideal for the kid, especially given, when a kid enters foster care, it's never under good circumstances usually. So there is a big need there.
There's a huge need, and I think for us, because the number one thing in foster care, the goal is always going to be reunification with their biological family, parents, siblings. So for us, we knew that, and we never went into it thinking this is how we're going to become parents.
No.
Or, there's such a need, and we just wanted to be those people that gave those kids
the opportunity to be successful in the long term.
And give them what they needed in that moment. That it's very traumatic for a child to go into foster care and be removed from their family and go into the unknown. And they still deserve not just care, but they deserve love. They deserve, to be treated kindly, to be, we're just that fill-in.
Right.
We give everything that they need in those moments until they can be back in their parents or, kinship families. So we were excited about it.
We were. And again, we start slowly working to that. And I'm still, working where I'm working, and like we had a goal,
Yeah.
and our goal was very much to just share what we had with these kids. Like we saw the need, and
Yeah.
we were very invested just based on everything else that was going on. And I feel like in the moment we were doing really good.
Yeah.
We had a very hyper focused sense of what we were wanting to do,
Yeah.
and while we didn't have the plan on how we get there, we
Yeah.
were working towards it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just logistics that we had to work out. We weren't living in the best area of town, in the best house. It was not safe, but it was what we could afford
Right.
at the time. And so that was something we had to work towards. We had to, find a place and move. And, but we knew that that's what we wanted to do. That's what we wanted to work toward.
In the
We get
midst
the
of
phone
this, comes 2014, and something big happened. So, with that, we'll let you guys go for this episode, and continue on with the story of the events that transpired after that. We do wish you guys the best and the blessed week, and keep shining your light on people.